It's not in the cards for you. I'm pretty good at insults, and I got the internet and a lot of free time.
Well, if it's the healthiest pattern, I do believe that the spring-autumn romance is the only way to make babies. Especially if the man is older. We're not talking about MILFs and cougars here. It does have aneuploid retardation of follicles that we're talking about women between the ages of 18 and 25, with men between the ages of 35 and 55 because of the high telomerase within the reproductive cells. That would convey the healthiest children, the most intelligent children, and the longest living children, not to mention probably the most attractive children, you would think. Or they have a different look and we'll just get used to that. But you would think, I've seen some mixed race babies and they're pretty good. Care to get a drink with me in Spokane, Washington sometime? First, let's do a Zoom conference, you and me, and we'll figure out that you're not a catfish or gonna ghost me or whatever the fuck you Zoomers do these days that's rude as fuck. We'll have a few Zoom sessions and then figure out when and where we're gonna meet. Probably at my place, right? Because I don't have a car. If you have a car, that would be great. But it doesn't really matter. I don't have a car either. We can catch the bus and meet someplace. Preferably where there's a lot of people. I think that would be bus-busing. I think the most libtarded thing you can do is to have parity or to have tolerance for anyone. Well, what about the Trump supporters, the guys that would run over you in a car in North Carolina if you disagreed with them? You know, because you're against Trump for economic reasons, and you're against Trump for race reasons, and you're against Trump for misogynistic reasons from Trump. I mean, he did rape somebody. He did rape several people, and he's a felon 34 times over, probably over 100. And then there's these libtards that will sleep with the Republican because they fell in love with the man, not the politics. But that just shows that they're not sapiosexuals. They're not attracted to intelligence. They're attracted to some other superficial thing, like a guy's fake persona or something like that, or the fact that he can get the material possessions like meth. So, you know, that's all libtardedism. Support these maggot Republicans.
Make a space for my body. Dig a hole.
2/3, yes, 2/3, that is a statistical fact, of Gen Z voters would vote for a socialist candidate.
It's a mold.
Wars of love for Lucas. I don't have enough money. Then you think that's a little bit hypocritical? All these guys are fucking at the group home. Well, not Johnny and V, but they've been together for 2 months. And he's Gen X and she's Gen Z, and she's real standoffish when it comes to any kind of affection. I dodged a bullet with this one. But the other two, they're fucking. The other two guys, they're fucking. And they started fucking before they even had jobs. And this other guy, he doesn't have a job, but he's fucking. Oh yeah. I don't really have a lot of money. I have like $100 a month that I can play with after all my bills are paid. I've never really been focused much on capitalism, especially after I hit 20 and there was a salary cap put on me because I have a bipolar and diabetes disability. So it doesn't make much sense to me that the disabled should have a salary cap and the CEOs can just earn as much money as they want. I'm definitely leaning towards socialism here with that statement, Army. Well, I totally am a socialist. I mean, that just bullshit to me, so I don't really support the capitalist system. I think we should all just be middle class, like upper deck middle class. And there's enough money to do it if the rich people would be forced to pay their fair share and were made into middle class Americans. And then the poor could be elevated and the middle class could remain at their own level, which is everybody happy. You know what I mean? So I don't really have a bunch of money. It's not really my main concern right now. What I want is a girlfriend. She has to be between the ages of 18 and 25 and a high level of attractiveness to my eyes, which is probably the stereotypical woman. Someone very feminine, and you do the rest with your mind. I do like smart chicks, and I do like intelligence, and I do like kind chicks, and I do like bubbliness and niceness, especially towards me, especially towards anyone, really. It's called benignosexuality. It means you're attracted sexually to kind people. And I'm also a sapiosexual. I'm attracted sexually to intelligent people. And it just happens to be that most intelligent people are some of the most compassionate as well. And when it comes to looks, you know, that's important too, because I want to be sexually attracted to her when we fuck. So she'd have to look like, at least at the level of like Natalie Portman or Mila Kunis. It doesn't mean that they have to look like Dakota Fanning. It just means that they have to be at that same level of gorgeousness. I don't really think I need to get too far into it. You know what I like. The Hollywood starlet look. I haven't had a girlfriend in 14 years. Prove there's a loving God. Why are atheists met with such deference from theists? You say it's for mocking God, but I'm not mocking God. I'm just asking you to prove the love of God, because you have no proof. You live in your own little bubble, your own little life. We're 1% of the population. You're 99% of the United States population. But you have all the girls, you have all the money, you have all the fame. And then you look at what Jesus wanted, and Jesus was really against all that shit. But you go ahead and do it anyway because you think you have eternal forgiveness, which is a dangerous idea. Because you could straight murder somebody and Jesus would forgive you in your mind. It doesn't make it any less of a crime, but you think that your chosen higher power, whether it be Shiva or Buddha or Islam, will forgive you. You know. It could be Muhammad, it could be Allah, it could be anyone. It could be Jehovah, it could be Yahweh, it could be Vishnu, it could mean Ra. It doesn't really matter. You have this higher power belief in your head, which makes you, well, mean-spirited, for one, and a denialist in another. Maybe you should stop mocking atheists if you should expect us to stop mocking your God by asking for proof. You obviously don't know what science is, because I think that's it. You don't know that science is about evidence before belief, not belief before evidence. Believing something into action is like saying if you believe hard enough, Santa Claus will materialize himself in front of you on Christmas Eve and deliver presents to you and your kids. When you know in actuality it's you pulling the gears and strings of that whole operation by being Santa Claus. And it says in the Bible that you have to be like Christ, that you have to be loving and kind. It says that in 1 Corinthians 13. It says that in John 13:34. It says it in a numerous amount of verses from Jesus and other verses from other religions, including the Poetic Eddas from Norse paganism, on and on and on, that you're supposed to be loving and kind. But why aren't you? Are you introducing me to ladies? Why the fuck would I trust a theist then? Because it's going to be one thing one day, and then the next day it's going to be mocking me because I'm an atheist. So I'll mock your God by saying, fuck God, there is no God, and fuck you. Until you're nice to me, I have no reason to give you anything other than fuck you. I've been nice to theists. I even gave Johnny that information about younger women and telomerase and men in their middle-aged telomerase.
and having healthier babies. And of course, no one's hooking me up with any sex or any love or any kindness whatsoever from these women, because they get theirs and then they forget other people need something. It's just like, you have to be on your own. When we're a community of neighbors. That's what we're supposed to be, is be helpful towards each other. It's kind of like you've lost your soul in a way, but really you just have no character, because otherwise you'd be hooking me up with a bitch so I could have a girlfriend and a wife one day and fill out your so-called biblical needs or whatever by having a wife and children. But really, I just want to do it because it's biologically what I'm imperative to do. It's like some people are born gay, some people are born to want children, and that can change based on circumstances too. But I'm just saying, I want happiness out of my life. And you say things like, well, you got to have happiness within. And well, of course, I do have happiness within. You don't see me when I'm not on YouTube. When I'm on YouTube, I'm usually kind of depressed or angry or very serious, trying to get kind of a laugh. I usually get one from Jim because he agrees with me. He's a socialist atheist, but you other people do not, because you're not socialist atheists, and you don't like the age gap relationship because you're bigots. So all I'm asking is, why the deference towards atheists? We're just going to keep mocking God. We're just going to keep becoming more and more popular. We're like Subway. We're the fastest growing fast food restaurant, and there's nothing you can do about it. Theists, no one is asking for much here. You know, you accuse us of mocking God just for asking for proof of his or her existence. You're not being expected a lot here. You're just asking to prove the existence of a loving God. Not this fucking religion thrown at us from your Bible or whatever, or the Quran, or just a bunch of bullshit word salading. Actual evidence. You could do that easily. If you're a theist, and in my case, you would hook it up. You know, you would be like, oh, I'm a Christian, you're an atheist, bygones between us don't exist. I'm going to introduce you to someone really hot and really nice for you. But of course, they don't do that, because the next day they want it for themselves. Oh, why did I hook you up with that? That was my chick, blah, blah, blah. That's how they roll. Once they know you're an atheist, they play this two-faced game on you. And usually people with a higher power only date other people with a higher power because they're a bunch of bigots. And if you weren't bigots, maybe I could date you. Instead, I'd rather have some deference towards me, so I'd rather date an atheist. And it's not just because I don't believe in God, it's because theists are rude and full of shit. No fat chicks. And the reason why I say that is because there's too much fat acceptance out there. And it's only for women. It's never for guys like me and my 300-pound girth. It's all this talk about dad bods, but then they don't date us anyway. So fuck you if you're fat. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a fat woman. You don't deserve any kind of love from me. You deserve love. I'm not saying that you don't deserve love at all. I'm saying you don't deserve it from me because you never show me any love in return. So why the fuck would I fat date? You know what I mean? It's like saying that black guys should only date other black people. You fucking racist. It would be easy for you to attempt to prove the existence of God to me. All you gotta do is introduce me to beautiful ladies. But since you don't want to do that, I'm just gonna label theists as lazy and greedy because you only care about yourselves. Monday you care about me, Tuesday you care about others, Wednesday you care about me, Thursday you care about others. We've all been through this before. Your religion is fucking stupid. I don't care what religion it is, whether it's Christianity or Islam or Wicca. It's fucking stupid. You believe in something without evidence, and that means that it doesn't exist. You might say it's the black swan fallacy, but I'm gonna go with that anyway because you have no fucking evidence but a bunch of claims which are the opposite of evidence.
All you gotta do is introduce me to beautiful ladies, and that's a good enough attempt at least to show that theists aren't a bunch of assholes. What about a hot girlfriend for Lucas, so he can have a beautiful wife and children one day? We can get married on my dad's 12 acres of land, no sweat. Prove God, instead of just this pedantic overgeneralizing bullshit that you theists do, presuming that atheists are the bad guy when it's you that are the bad guys. Religion causes everything bad in this world. Everything. Prove me otherwise. You fucking thugs. Hook it up.
As an older guy interested in younger males and a libtard or whatever you want to call me,